Good evening and welcome to Uncommon Conversations. On Signature Television, we're reaching you from our head office in Enugu, Coal City State. Of course, the last time I checked, Enugu is still the capital of the Southeast Nigeria.
Sure.
Today, we'll be looking at a program that is different from what we have done in the past weeks. In the past week, we dwelt on politics, on economy, but today, we want to have a conversation around health. As a young man growing up in the village, my mom and dad would just go to the back of our house and get fruits and vegetables and make fresh soup, fresh yam porridge, and the likes. They got certain crops and roots from the farm. We never had health centers.
Sure.
We never had clinics. And so, if you were sick, somebody would walk into the bush, get one or two leaves, mix them up, get them grounded, and then give to you. You drink. There was this use of dogonyaro then in the village, and malaria was just a thing of the past.
Sure.
But as I grew older and got into the city, I was exposed to synthetic food, what they call wait and take. You go into an eatery, and then you point at what you want,
Fast food.
and they will give it to you. We have forgotten our roots.
Yeah.
We've forgotten that in nature, we had so much health. In nature, we had wealth. And now, even at age 10, 11, people fall sick carelessly, endlessly. And that is why it is important that this evening we have an uncommon conversation around the issue of basic diet requirements and rules for recovery and staying healthy. And to help us unravel this conversation is an expert himself. His name is Eniagolo Hyacinth. He is a wellness practitioner and a coach. I would like to invite him to introduce himself the more and tell our viewing audience what exactly he does for a living. Eniagolo.
Thank you so very much. I count it all joy and privilege to be here today, to be able to unravel the mystery behind the frequency and the intensity of untimely death. That is so much around us. To me, it is quite shocking because, just like you rightly pointed out, we have left our roots. So this program is designed to bring us back again to where we started, so that the common health that God has given to everybody, we can have access to it. So,
I want to take you back to my first question, which is Eniagolo Hyacinth.
yeah.
Who is he? What does he do?
All right. And Agolo Hyacinth, God's time, which means Oge Chineke, is a wellness practitioner for over 10 years in practice, and also a coach. By the special grace of God, I have authored quite some books. I am also a conference speaker, and I run an organization called Nature Way Dietetic Living Food. Nature Way Dietetic Living Food is an organization promoting and advocating healthy eating habits and disease-free life.
Healthy living.
Eating habits and disease-free life.
Is it possible that we have a disease-free life?
Scientifically, we know that every matter is assumed to be in a state of rest until external force is applied to it. This body of ours do not know on its own on how to become sick. Just like in Igbo parlance, we normally say, "O nwere ife na-ebute ọya." Our body not even a single cell in the body is setting goal to have diabetes, arthritis. But our cells will respond precisely to the environment you have created for it. What I'm trying to say is this. The process and the function of our body is simply a response to a stimulus or a stimuli. Example, if malaria, before you have malaria, it is believed that mosquitoes should bite you. And when the plasmodium is released,
that's a common belief.
and when the plasmodium is released, if your immune system has not been actually turbocharged, the tendency is that the manifestation is malaria. For you also to have diabetes, it's either you have hypersugar or hyposugar.
Okay.
So that is just the way it is to every sickness that we go through. Yeah.
Okay. When you say basic diet requirements, what do you mean?
All right. That very phrase I like, I want to divide the phrase into two. Looking at basic diet requirement. We all know what basic is. We understand again what requirement is. But I think I have to dwell more on the word diet.
Yeah.
Anytime you hear the word diet, it's simple, suggests the food and the drinks one consumes on daily basis. By extension, we can say that diet could be well tailored, specific eating plan that one adopts or regimen in order to achieve a nutritional or healthy plan. For example, there are some people who don't like the way they look, and they have to do something to look better. So they have to design a particular diet plan. Either they want to lose weight or they want to gain weight. One also may be predisposed genetically to diabetes, a medical condition. And that kind of a person also needs to fashion a specific diet in order to help him or her control the portion of sugar that comes into the body. Also, somebody may want to tailor a particular eating habit in order to influence the overall health. Somebody also who is into sports may decide to come up with a particular diet that will continue to trigger up what we call the ATP.
What would that mean?
All right, when we talk about ATP, we are talking about a particular hormone called adenosine triphosphate. It is how do I describe it now? It is a block of energy. When it is released into you, you come up with such a strength that you could finish what you have already started without, getting weak. So a particular kind of diet could be tailored to guarantee such results. Apart from it, if we have a healthy diet, it therefore suggests that we also have unhealthy diet. But for the fact of what we want to achieve in this very program, let's look a little bit on healthy diet. Whenever we talk about healthy diet, where do we go and get it? When we talk about healthy diet, we must include, 1, fruits. And you know that fruit is a wholesome stuff. It's not denatured. It is not devitalized. It is not demineralized. It is not processed. It didn't come with any additives that is not biological compatible. It is just the way God made it. Vegetable comes in there. It can as well be leafy vegetable. It can be tuber vegetables. Also, coming into it is what we call cereals. This cereals comes in form of rice. We understand what it means. Wheat, guinea corn, and the rest of them. So, also, good fats. You know, we have about 4 classes of fats.
Yeah.
One, the saturated, the unsaturated, the polyunsaturated, and also the monounsaturated. All of these fats are the same, but some tends to block, but some tends to maintain fluidity.
Okay. Can you give an example of each so that our viewing audience may at least separate the saturated from the unsaturated?
All right.
And the other two.
As we were growing right there in the village, there is a particular festival. I won't mention that festival because I have transited.
Okay. Go ahead.
I have transited. So during that
you are depriving
festival,
some people of knowledge.
I've transited. You know, in those days, when they are doing festival called Odo,
Okay.
you know, I'm from Ugo, you know,
Okay. Go ahead.
precisely Obase village.
Yeah.
We expect to have friends and where we shall come around, so it is a time to eat and to drink. And before long, each family has a way of putting money together to buy cow, goats, and all of that. So the night, the eve to the race celebration, that cow or whatever is being slaughtered. And I watch our fathers gather the blood and the fatty aspect of that very animal, keep boiling it, and we eat all of these things together.
Ngongo.
Ngongo. Now that I have grown up and I say, wow,
It's called Ngongo.
look at where God delivered us from. And today we understand that such fat is not good. It is saturated.
It's still done in the village.
It's still not in the village, but that is why.
No, but when they do it, they go to the farm, they climb the hills, they trek a long distance. Okay, they don't stay in any conditioned office.
Yes.
And all that. So they get burned out. inside
Those
of the-
days, there is no dull moment. There is nothing like sedentary kind
Yes.
of lifestyle. Somebody sitting in an office for 4 hours, 6 hours.
No.
Doing what?
When he's done eating that, he goes to the farm and does some farm work.
Work very, very hard. Sweat and all of these things is burnt out.
Now you come.
You know, but because we are beginning to pamper into the influence of civilization, a whole lot has changed since then. So, the truth must be told that we don't have to indulge in such practices because they will become hydrogenated. And when they find their way inside of your body, right inside of the blood vessels, they begin to clot it, resulting to what we call atherosclerosis. This atherosclerosis tends to slow down the flow of blood. It's a different thing altogether. So we won't go into that. And then we also have, like I rightly said before, the poly and then the mono unsaturated fatty. These ones are wonderful. For example, there was a time I was teaching somewhere in Imo State, Abia, presently now, Mary's brother Juniorate in particular. I lived in a village called Obiago, and I watched the way they process their palm front, their palm kernel. It wasn't like what we do in the part of Udi, where I come from. There's a whole lot of local separation. They remove what is called ekete. When they boil it, they put it in a big mortar. It's either you pound it or somebody climbs right inside of it and match it and put water, stir it up. The oil comes up, and then the old woman or whoever collects it, put it right inside of the pot, and then subject it under heavy temperature. and the thing will boil and separate. They use a kind of broom, not a tall one, they will cut it. And somehow there is a way, they have the skill of, pressing it so that the thing will be flat and keep pouring the oil on it.
Okay.
And the fiber will be separated and the real oil will go down. That kind of oil is a wonderful oil. Today, we don't do things like that. I don't know where this generation is going to. A whole lot of things has replaced the normal thing. Look at the oil we have today. You touch it, you notice rancidity.
It's called civilization.
It's rancid. You taste it, you know that this is not good. And to some extent, they add a whole lot of chemicals in it and mess up. I'm not surprised why people are falling sick here and there.
Okay.
I haven't finished.
Okay, go ahead.
I haven't finished in that area. And so, you now come down again to receiving of calcium because you are a human being, you have skeleton right inside of you, which is bone, right? So you have to think about getting enough calcium. So when you talk about getting calcium, you talk about dairy stuff, and then green vegetables, and then water. Put all of these things together, you are going for good health and longevity. So, that is what we could call a healthy diet. Anything outside of this is a mixture of what it's supposed to be.
Okay. Sometimes we hear, I've been healed.
Yes.
Either by the Western medicine you take,
Yeah.
or because you've gone to a prayer house.
Yeah.
So healing has become a common phrase that we use. So is healing and staying healthy the same? If you are healed, are you healthy? And if you are healthy, are you healed?
I don't really know where you are watching these broadcasts. I think it's going to be a game changer if you take time to listen, because I'm choosing my words. Healing and staying healthy, they are not the same thing. The disparity is huge. When we talk about healing, healing is an emergency recovery measure provided by God. When people, through neglect, for emphasis, through neglect of health laws and for some other reasons, they can become sick. And when they become sick, well, they ought to look up to God, because God is our healer. In fact, I am a Christian, and I don't mix words when I want to tell you that I'm a Christian, practical one by the special grace of God. So if you go to the book of Mark, reading from the 5th chapter, coming down to verse 41 down to verse 43, Jesus came to the house of Jairus because it was reported that a young lad that was 12 died. There was no hope. Everybody seems to be crying, right? And when Jesus stepped into the scenario, he walked in with some of his disciples and called on that very girl, Talitha Kumi, come back to life. The lady jacked, sneezed, and came back to life. And Jesus turned to the father and the mother and said, give her something to eat. What do you deduce from this? Number one, healing absolutely belongs to God. But to sustain and to maintain the healing is your own responsibility. To be healed is God's responsibility. When you are healed, you take responsibility.
To stay healthy.
To some time, in some cases, God may likely allow you to go through the medicals. The sick should go to the doctors, and the doctor will treat you. And having been treated, you get well. So you now notice that health is superior to healing. Healing is a process that brings you to the place of what? Health. But do you know what? The amazing and the surprising thing is that you don't even need a doctor to stay healthy. You don't need a doctor to stay healthy. You don't even need prayer to stay healthy. You don't even need fasting to stay healthy.
So what do you need to stay healthy?
Right. The other day, Apostle Paul was traveling, going to Damascus, and the Lord stopped him on the road. He became blind. And the Lord spoke to Ananias, say, go to this man. By the time Ananias came and laid hands on him, scare went out of his eyes. Immediately he could see. The very first thing that happened is that there was a transfusion of hunger into his DNA that activated to his sensory perception that for 3 days I haven't eaten.
He didn't realize he had not eaten.
He realized he has not eaten.
He was hungry.
He was hungry. Immediately the Bible says he took food, and when he ate, he was strengthened. In other words, food carries anointing to give you strength. Food gives you energy. And so, when you come to the place of health, you know what to do?
No.
Because health is a conglomeration of several practices. Nobody can give you that. Your wife can't even give you that. Your children can't even give you that. If it is a conglomeration of several practices, not just the practice or the result of one thing you do, it brings in there proper dieting, exercise. Your doctor cannot exercise for you.
Yeah.
It's you who will do that. I can suggest to you, you should eat. But if you like to eat, you eat.
If you don't like you.
If you don't like, you stay.
Yes,
Doctor can help
some
you.
people tell you they're hungry.
Nobody can do that.
But I don't want to eat.
Then again, you need rest. Read Mark chapter 6 verse 31. Jesus, man and spirit. While he was doing his work, he said to the disciples, come, let's go to the other side. We need to rest. Listen to me. If you refuse to rest, you will be laid to rest. And people will come back and say, rest in peace. You need to rest, my brother. Rest is very important. The point of rest, your body takes over. Begin to repair, renew, and replace a whole lot of things that have gone bad. In fact, it is at this very time the adrenaline begin to come low. The cortisol begin to come low. And the entire system begin to get back again. Not only that, you need to understand when to stop work. A lot of people want to finish work, what they have started. If I didn't finish it today, there's no way you can finish it. That is why you must plan, pre-plan how to work so that you can manage stress. If you don't learn how to manage stress, stress per se is not a disease, but it can create an inroad for so many other things to come in. So you must learn to rest. Nobody can rest for you. Your doctor can't rest for you. It is you who will do it. So you don't need doctor. You don't need anybody if you really want to be healthy. Not only that, your relationship with human beings and God is very, very important. But do you know, in all of these things, food primarily determines how healthy you will become. Do you know why?
No.
The reason is that the sum total of our health is the function of what you eat and what you drink. And if you don't make conscious effort to understand your physical body relationship with the articles of what you buy and eat, you may be on your way to the grave. Now that we are pampering into the influence of civilization, you remember what you said when we started this program, how we go to the backyard, collect the greens and all of that. Nobody cook and eat it 2 times the next day. You cook and you finish it. The fridge is there. I have nothing against fridge, but we should understand what fridge is. Fridge is simply a preservative. Something that will help you to extend the shelf life of whatever you put in there, that all to decay if it is not put in such environment. But today, most people, before they take water, they have to touch it. If it is not cold, they won't take it. Which kind of lifestyle is this? Apart from that, we have a lot of eateries around us there. 5G life. That is where we are today. Microwave type of life. And it is showing. But this is like my way of sounding warning to whoever that cares. If this health and life is your own, you really have to rise up and take responsibility.
Okay, we shouldn't take a short break, but before we do that, I just want you to speak to this issue. What happens to our health? What exactly happens to our health when our diet is faulty? When you have a faulty diet, what happens to our health?
I'm becoming emotional now.
It don't have to be. It don't have to be.
Because I have seen people who ought to live just die. Not because God wants them to die. Not because of witch, not because of wizard.
But we say whatever happens to him at any point it does, we'll give glory to God.
Yeah, we have to give glory to God. But yes, but there is the Godward side and also the manward side. What God has given you the ability to do, He won't do that for you. What He takes ability from you is what He comes to do for you.
Okay.
Now look at the way this thing works. I'm choosing my word. When your diet is faulty, it is an insidious. I use the word insidious. Something that is secretly stealing from you and you don't know. Faulty nutrition is insidious and unrecognized. In fact, that word insidious is being described by the word, stealing from us, something that is harmful to mankind. The way you are made is just the way the food you ought to eat is made. Let me even go a little bit to the scriptures and then back it up with science. If you go to the Bible in Genesis, the 1st chapter and 11th verse, the Bible tells us the plant kingdom came from the soil. And you go to Genesis chapter 2, the 19th verse, the animal kingdom emerged from the soil. Genesis chapter 2 and the 7th verse, the man that we eat from the plant kingdom and from the animal kingdom also emerged. What does that suggest to you?
That's life.
That what man we eat is they just come from the same environment. And scientifically, when this thing is looked upon, we discover that man is just the food that he eats. If you take a single cell, cell, the tiny microscopic energy life-making machine, there is a place in it that is called the cell membrane. We have the nucleus where we have the DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, that tells you about the things in the gene. And there is another segment that is called the protoplasm. Right in the protoplasm, we have 4 powerful elements. One is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. You see, remember, if you must know about a product, you ask the manufacturer. So if you don't get it from the manufacturer, you will make a lot of mistakes. Now, God, who knew that we are coming here, He understands the food that we eat. Number one, that will not be harmful, that will not distort the function of the organs, and we only deliver nutrients for ourselves to regenerate, repair itself. You know what He did? God now commanded us, say, carbon, go into the atmosphere. hydrogen go into the atmosphere, oxygen go into the atmosphere, sun begin to heat the plant. Through the process of photosynthesis, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen come together. They become what is called carbohydrate. So God kept your food that will give you energy in the plant. So, so you see now that plant is like your filling station. When the one in your body finishes, where do you go? You go to the filling station, to the plant, and get enough of it. But today, somebody will turn a grain of maize to something else, to something that is yellowish, and little children will eat it and lick their fingers. When you give them one apple, they will not take. I will not mention names. You know what I'm talking about. They have denatured all of these things, added things that are not biologically compatible, which the body cannot use. And two things is happening to our physical body. Number one is deficiency, because you haven't provided the nutrient density that the body needs. Number two, you have brought in things that are foreign. The body do not recognize it. And if the body do not recognize it, they will trigger what is called free radicals, destructive active molecules. And it is implicated in over 80% of the chronic diseases that people are going through. Faulty nutrition. It is an insidious and an enemy of mankind.
Okay, if you're watching us, we're still holding on common conversations. And our guest is still Nyagolo Hyacinth. But we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Don't go away. You are still watching on Common Conversations, and we're still reaching you from our Enugu studios. This is Signature Television. Nyagolo Hyacinth,
My brother.
you put me in the spirit. Honestly, you put me in the spirit. You've gone biblical, and you've been quite scientific. But I'm going to ask you, if I look at your stature, and I look at mine, and for one moment I imagine I want to come close to what you look like. Mm-hmm. What will I do exactly?
Discipline.
I'm very disciplined. In what aspects?
It's discipline.
Tell me.
The other day, I had a patient come visit me in my office here in Enugu in our school, where we train people, families that are predisposed to conditions like diabetes. They normally come. I will put a projector and begin to show them what diabetes is all about. Even though they are predisposed genetically, we show them that genes do not determine whether you can be sick.
What does?
Genes never. Genes can only function simple by being activated. And nutrition is what plays a key role in determining which of the genes, either the good or the bad, that can give expression. For example, if you have a palm kernel, right, which is a potential seed, put it on top of this table for 20 years, it will not give expression. Take it outside there, plant it, give it 3 months, water it, manure it. What happens?
It will grow.
So, what's the difference? Because of environment. It takes discipline to create a healthy environment. So what you eat is very, very important. So when the young man stepped in, I told him, you'll be fine. He was even thinking he's somebody that poisons and all of that. I said, keep that aside. Let's deal with what we are seeing. We will get to that one later on. So I sat in them, I said, if you will ever practice what I'm going to teach you, you will infallibly recover. He said what? I say infallibly. Write it down somewhere. Because it is lifestyle related. It is not an inheritance. It is lifestyle related. Okay. And I told him, beginning from now, this is your regimen. Stay on this. And kept staying on that 1 month to 2 months. In fact, the result was awesome. Quite a good number of families with conditions that have defiled, so many things they have done, start coming. And when we change your thinking about eating, we have helped you 50%. You need discipline to implement it. So if I tell you what I do, that as I wake up in the morning, as I pray,
I just want to see your daily diet, what it looks like.
As I pray, I wake up, I try to dress bed. You know, the culture of waking up and dressing bed is gradually going.
Yeah,
but that is the very first.
It's almost gone.
Yeah, but that is the very first exercise you do. Because God even said, using Apostle Paul talking to Timothy, do physical exercise because it has profit in it. So you bend, you squat, you dress your bed. The next thing is you brush your teeth. What you also use to brush your teeth is very, very important.
Yes.
I grew up in the village. I can still remember using dogoyaro stick.
Yeah, it's very healthy.
When we will be running down the hill going to fetch water, there are particular plants there. We just cut them, use our teeth, remove the other part, and clean. Nothing is wrong with our teeth. It's just that we have eaten.
Yes.
I don't understand what is happening with us. Even in the primary school, they taught us how to use charcoal to clean our teeth. But today, take up a tube of any paste you are using. What you will see will amaze you. I did a program for the former governor of Imo State, Rochas, when Dr. Bumi was the chaplain, person there. He invited me after listening to me. By the time I finished, the Imo State Speaker, by name, His Excellency Ihana Acho, asked me not to go. I was in a hotel for 4 days. And he took me back to his house. I said, that is where we're going to sort it. I did what is called kitchen cleansing. Bring everything you are using in the kitchen to prepare your food, ranging from your salt. We begin to look at the salt. And we discover that the salt we are using is lacking a lot of electrolytes.
The salt in the market?
Yes, the white salt in the market is lacking a whole lot of electrolytes. What I personally use is Himalayan natural sea salt. It has 92 electrolytes in it, and also a wonderful, substance that can alkalize your system. So I brush my teeth using an organic toothpaste. I've not come here to promote anyone.
Don't promote anyone.
So I don't mention anyone.
You pay for it.
But then you must know how to read label. There is something I found disturbing. There are things we use externally that we don't have to use internally, like sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS. It is a surfactant, something we use in producing soap, in making soap to foam. So of what use is it there?
Sometimes we'll find it in our toothpaste.
You do your due diligence. Okay. I'm not going to mention any of these things. The sorbitol are they're wonderful. The hydrated silica, they're wonderful. So many of them. But you need to find out what you are using if your life is very important to you. Reading label is very important. So I use an organic toothpaste. Shortly after that, I have to take my warm water in the morning. Why must I take warm water? I still remember my grandfather Early in the morning during the hammer time, he will wake us, all of us. And we will be there about the hour 3, 4. In the morning hours, he will be gathering palm front. And he set up the fire. And every one of us will be stretching ourselves.
No, we did that.
We'll be stretching ourselves. We feel very much good. In developed country today, they have fireplace in their parlors.
Yes.
Because we are warm-blooded, not cold-blooded. Some of them put firewood under the place they lie down to warm themselves. We sleep under air conditioner room. We use fan. In fact, I know of a family anytime because of this plan of band B.
Band B and
band B and band A. So the thing runs very fast. So every now and then, once there is a power outage, recharge. So I said, what kind of life is this? Open your windows and do this thing naturally, madam. You know, so I take my warm water. The moment you boil your water, drinking warm water is not very easy. Most people find it difficult. The moment water has been heated, the molecular structure of that water has been altered. Yes. To some extent, it will help your liver. You know, our liver is an incomparable plant chemical that modifies. Whatever you take in, the liver makes its own contribution to make it in such a way that it will be harmless for your consumption. And you can imagine it working like that, even when fat comes.
So they were breaking it down.
And you can imagine if fat is coated everywhere. That is why you see a lot of people having fat in their what? In their liver, coated. How do you think it can function? But using warm water to some extent can give a lease of life to your what? To your liver. And your liver will detoxify better. Haven't done that. The next thing is my fruits and vegetables. I tell people that blender and then juicer is more important in a home than the gas cooker.
Why?
Simple. Why do you eat? You are eating not because you want to feed your stomach. You want to feed the cells. You want to help your immune system. You want to empower the stem cells to begin to produce embryonic cells to replace the dead, the wounded ones, so that life can continue in the cell world. So,
and I still have 4 questions, and our time is running. So
let us do this thing well. This is an opportunity for me. Let us do this thing well.
Okay,
I'm excited.
Okay,
I feel like talking to the whole world because the truth must be told.
Let it be told now.
So, when you subject your food under high temperature, you already know that the nutrients is going down, isn't that? So, are we eating because of appetite? Or are we eating because there is need we have to meet?
Most times, we eat to fill our appetites.
Yeah, that's the problem now. So we have to change it. I'm not saying you don't have to cook. There are some certain basic things you must cook. But I tell you, if you form the habit of eating more of fruits and vegetables than you eat the cooked food, a lot of things will change, even without you knowing it. Because that is how you supply your body the ample, nutrients that the body also needs. So when I have done that, then I relate with people. Because in Igbo, onye wiwe okali anjo. Anybody who triggers you is trying to steal your health. You must learn forgiveness whether you want it or not. Forgiveness is a virtue that God gave to us to begin our relationship again, to bring back our health status again. When you are angry, agitated, unforgiveness, you are carrying a load.
An excess load.
All you need to debunk, take away all of these things. You feel lighter, you'll be in a lighter mood. Even when you eat, you will enjoy what you are eating. That is why I say health is not what the doctor can give. You must make up your mind to be healthy. So I try to practice all of this. Sometimes I don't get 100%, but I live under the consciousness that I must do the right thing all the time.
Okay, very briefly, after seeing a doctor, assuming I'm sick and I'm going to see a doctor, what do I do next?
Listen to me. Don't become a doctor you are not. The doctors are trained. The moment you discover that you are sick, it's just like you're driving a car. You don't just have to become mechanic overnight. Yes, you will listen to the symptom of your car because symptom is an internal mechanism planted inside of God, inside of us by God, to remind us that something is wrong. And when you check out the expert in that area, the expert will fix it. It is your right to know you are sick, but it is also your right to go and see a doctor. And doctor will do clinical examination, diagnose, find out exactly what the case is, and immediately commence treatment. And when you've been treated, because it's like an emergency, at this point you don't know what to do. So you needed them. The moment you go there and you're okay and you're out, take responsibility. You are personally responsible how good you can become at what is important to you. If your health is important to you, take responsibility. How do you take responsibility of your health? Do you know? Can I ask you a question? Even if you go to the best hospital in the whole world, Johns Hopkins, that is in Baltimore, United States of America, and you get yourself treated and you're back, and you start indulging again in practices that will lead to sickness and disease, what happens? You will fall sick again.
Yeah. So what do you do after?
So what you do at this time is this. You have to adopt a very good diet and lifestyle that is okay. Because when your diet and your lifestyle is right, you don't have need of taking so many petrochemical synthetic drugs. But do you know again, when your diet is wrong and your lifestyle also is wrong, even the drug you are taking is useless. It will not help you because you are curing yourself and you are doing the same thing that is causing the sickness and diseases. So you need to take responsibility by personally understanding your physical body relationship with the articles of the food that you need to eat and engage in eating that very food appropriately and at the right time.
Okay. Supplements.
By the word supplements, we should know what it means.
Supplements have become a way of life in this country.
Yes.
There are too many of them everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Actually, is an abuse when purpose is not known. Abuse becomes inevitable. Supplements suggest that something is missing and we need to make it up. Something you use to add to the deficiency. That is what is called supplement.
Okay.
Today, we have technology that has the ability to isolate these nutrients that we needed organically and package it. And these things are encapsulated. Some are in tablet form, some are in syrup form, some are in powdered in granule form. They are called supplements. The idea behind it is that you're supposed to take about 30 international units of tocopherol, which is vitamin E. You haven't gotten it. You need about 1,000 milligrams of ascorbic acid. You haven't gotten it. Then you can supplement so that aging will be graceful. But some people today carry it because they are not trained. If you take this one, it will cure this. It will even cure cancer. That is why doctors get mad at them. It's not because they are not good. They are wonderfully okay. The way we are eating, we need to supplement in order to make it up. I was privileged to be invited somewhere in Bonny Island to see a white man. He lived all his life in the ship. The bomb is, he won't even find bomb again. But the stomach is very big. Arthritis, pains everywhere. The only way I can help is to engage what I call masticator. There is a machine that is called masticator. It will preserve the enzyme, the biological catalysts that facilitate the biochemical reaction when it comes. And then add up, supplement to it in the area of his need. Amazingly, this man gradually returning back. Supplement is an integral part of how we can recover and stay healthy. There are families that are privileged to have people abroad.
Yeah.
And over time, you see them sending this thing, but the people that are bringing it to, they don't know what is it. They dump it because they are not trained. But gradually, people are beginning to know that supplementation is part of recovery and staying healthy. If you come to me, I will consider your sex, I will consider your age, I will consider your blood group and your gender, and recommend for you something that is beautiful and awesome. In fact, right as it is now, on my hand, I have what is called double stem cell stimulator.
What does it do?
Stem cell. Stem cell is the new biology. Stem cell is, I call it a recovery of life or longevity cell. This stem cell is not specific to any of our system. It doesn't know the cell that is in the nervous system. It doesn't know the cell that is in the cardiovascular, the gastrointestinal, the urinary genital, the musculoskeletal. It doesn't respect it. The job is, if you trigger it, it will produce embryonic cells, looking for where there is damaged cell and replace it. That is how I reverse diabetes. That is how I reverse high blood pressure and so many other, lifestyle-related cases. I use stem cell to do all of this.
Very fast one, because our time is actually galloping.
Yeah.
It's galloping.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have watched you,
Yeah.
our audience.
Yeah.
They'll be wondering, for all you've said,
Yeah.
what's the way forward? For me, I've said this, I want to look as thin
The
as
way
you
I
are.
am.
Yes, I want to cut myself to what you have.
So
I want to get off this chubby part of me.
I thank God.
Okay, you feel like breakdancing. So what's
right.
the way out and the way forward?
Way forward is this.
Very briefly.
Number one, health education is very important. Alongside with medication.
Where can we get the health education?
That is why I am running a program.
Is this the university?
It's not that university. Like in Enugu, if you are within Enugu, there is a place in Enugu that is called C2C Plaza, Block E20. C2C Plaza, Block E20. That is where we do training. And we are doing it free of charge for now, because this is an in thing. People that are predisposed genetically to diabetes, you come, we show you a way out. People that are having high blood pressure, be it primary or be it secondary, be it the ones that are caused by underlying factors. Maybe your kidney is not working very well and you do not even know. And the BP is high. You keep taking drugs for BP instead of dealing with what is causing it. Maybe you are somebody who stays on NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, so long a time. And some of these things can trigger high blood pressure. There are risk factors. So what we do is to sit you down and teach you. After teaching you, we empower you. We watch you in the next 6 months. After practicing what we teach, you just simply recover. We do it excellently well. I see people fly, stay in a hotel 4 days.
So you do it with drugs, supplements, or what?
No. I don't touch drug. I'm not a medical doctor.
Okay,
I have nothing to do with petrochemical synthetic drugs. No, I do it with simple food. Simple food and supplementation. But the primary is giving you an understanding, changing your mindset about how to stay healthy, and then putting it in your hand how to go about it, depending the condition that brought you. There is no health challenge you cannot walk out from if you are disciplined enough.
There is no health challenge
You cannot walk out from
if you are
disciplined Enough.
I want to pause you there and I want to stop you there
Yeah.
because that's a take home.
Good.
So I want to thank you, Nagol Hyacinth. The past 45, 50 minutes have been quite awesome.
Yeah.
In fact, I must confess, it's been an uncommon conversation.
All right. Okay.
And I want to thank you for finding time to be here.
It's my privilege.
Hoping that even though this is your first, it will be our last visit to Signature Television.
Oh.
Because we keep on engaging you.
No, when I came in here, they treated me well.
That's
They took me right inside, gave me tea and other things. I enjoyed being here.
Okay, thank
I would
you.
like to come again.
Thank you. If you've been watching us, I've just had a conversation, very uncommon, with Nagol Hyacinth. He is a holistic wellness practitioner, a coach with over 2 decades of practical experience. I'm sure I'm enriched. And you watching us, I'm sure you're also enriched. Let's do this same time tomorrow. Thank you for watching.